go back to the second largest economy in West Africa, Ghana. Today reporting 3.2% decline in economic growth for the second quarter of the year. This is the first time that Ghana will slip into a negative period in almost 40 years. Speaking more to this with me is Anthony Coleman, a principal research economist and senior manager at Afreximbank in Cairo, Egypt. A good evening to you, sir. We thank you for your time on the show.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Ghana's economic growth slumped 3.2% in the second quarter. Is this consistent with expectations?
Yeah, before I respond to that, let me take us back to the first quarter. Now, during the first quarter, the Ghanaian economy posted 4.9% growth in GDP. Now, the 3.2% contraction posted in the second quarter, the issue is it consistent? Was it expected? In as much as I believe the authorities expected a reduction in growth, the extent of impact of 3.2, I'm not sure was anticipated. It is also a reflection of the uncertainty surrounding the economic impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. It's important to note that the IMF continues to revise its forecast globally and in a number of economies. So the contraction of 3.2, which is the first recorded over about 4 decades, it's really something that was not expected, but still it's just a reflection of the uncertainty surrounding the economic disruptions of the COVID-19 pandemic.
In terms of the sectors of the Ghanaian economy, which sectors do you see as the leading laggards on the GDP?
Yeah, let me give a brief breakdown. During quarter one, the industrial sector grew by 1.5%. The agri sector grew by 2.8%, and the services sector grew by 9.3%. However, in 2019, the sectoral distribution of contribution to GDP were as follows. The agri sector contributed 18.5% to GDP. The industrial sector contributed 34.3% of GDP, and the services sector contributed 47.2% of GDP. What it simply means, and which is not peculiar to Ghana, like most African economies, the over-reliance on the agri sector will continue to drag GDP down as a result of the volatility in the global markets. So the export basket of most African economies, which is largely dominated by primary commodities, will continue to adversely impact on these economies. So whilst agri sector remains the backbone of a number of economies in Africa, it also continues to be the sector that is likely to be dragging growth performance down.
I'm looking at the sectors that we can focus on, Mr. Coleman, for a quick recovery of this very resource-rich economy, not just on the side of agriculture, but also gold. There is oil as well in Ghana.
Yes. Not just about oil. The performance of the manufacturing sector, which has been seen to be relatively weak, should be given more attention. It is important for an economy like Ghana and like most African economies to diversify the sources of growth by focusing on agriculture-led industrialization. In Ghana, for example, that could be anchored on the government's 10-point industrialization agenda. What it simply means is that it is important for Ghana to move away from relying on the export of primary commodities in their raw form, but focusing on light manufacturing and other low-hanging industrial products in order to spur growth in this economy.
So to get these small and medium enterprises, local industries up and running, you need help. So multilateral agencies like the IMF, the World Bank, the EFDB, even Afrexim will do well to support the government in Accra, isn't it?
Yes, yes. Like Afreximbank, the bank has been supporting Ghana for some years now. I know the IMF has been supporting Ghana. The World Bank, the FDB have all been supporting Ghana. But the point is this: it is imperative for Ghana to design or to build or to prepare a sellable program and projects. For example, Afreximbank at the onset of the COVID-19 in Africa introduced what we call the Pandemic Trade Impact Mitigation Facility, PATIMFA, which is intended to ensure that trade-related obligations are not unnecessarily defaulted, and that countries can still continue to honor their trade obligations and for trade to continue. I also know that in April, the IMF approved a facility to the tune of 1 billion USD for Ghana. The point I'm making is that whereas these institutions are ever willing and ready to help a country like Ghana, it is important for the authorities to design programs and projects that are sellable for these institutions to buy in and to support them.
Okay, so what type of projects do you think the authorities in Ghana should work on very quickly to keep attracting foreign investments, foreign direct investment, that is?
Now, low-hanging fruit. We all know that the infrastructure is a key area. The pandemic revealed across the board that Africa is really not ready. The health sector, for example, need a lot of investment. So Ghana, for example, can take opportunity and to attract investors, for instance, in the health sector, to be able to ensure that as and when such pandemic occurs again, the economy will be ready. Not only the health sector, the infrastructure in the form of road, transport, telecommunication, ICT is an area where Ghana could design appropriate project programs to be able to attract investors. We've entered the era of the fourth industrial revolution. And as a matter of fact, the COVID-19 pandemic has more or less accelerated the need for all of us to plug into the fourth industrial revolution. Artificial intelligence is coming on board. Digital financing is all over the place. It is important for Ghana to sit up, design a program, design projects that would attract investors to develop these areas.
A final question very quickly. Do you think the forthcoming December 7 general elections could pose an economic recovery risk for Ghana?
My brother, we are in Africa, and these things are sometimes very difficult to predict. What I know for certainty is that Ghana decided to ensure that there's fiscal discipline. Now, to that end, they introduced what we call the Fiscal Accountability Act, which has now become a law, and then also went ahead to put up structures to ensure that there's fiscal discipline. I am hoping that as we enter the December elections, it is time for the Ghanaian authorities to show to the whole of Africa and to show to the world that there are countries in Africa that are willing to ensure that expenditure is kept within allowable limits, and that we shall be disciplined and not play to the gallery.
I appreciate that. Be reasonable and not play to the gallery. Thank you so much, Anthony Coleman, Principal Research Economist and the very important Senior Manager at Afreximbank in Cairo, Egypt. Thank you for your time this evening. We appreciate speaking with us on the show tonight.